Hello everybody, welcome to Ringside Predictions, where we give you our big, bold predictions for the pay-per-view. This Sunday is Wrestlemania 30, and it is going to be huge.
Amazing.
So,
spectacular.
Why don't we dive in? We've got a pretty big card, but now we have on the pre-show a fatal four-way for the tag team titles, which should be on the main card, but I mean, it's kind of a slap in the face to three great teams and Ryback and Curtis Axel.
And then there's those guys.
Just saying.
So yeah, why don't we start with that? Schloppy, what's your prediction for the fatal four-way tag team title match?
Well, I think that the Usos will retain. I mean, they haven't had it very long, and they're not really pushing a whole lot of people to take it. If anyone in the match were to win that weren't the Usos, it would probably be Real Americans, but it seems like they kind of got something different going with them, so my vote's for the Usos.
Katrina?
I also think the Usos are going to retain. Yeah, I guess like he said, if anything, I would think maybe the Real Americans would get it, because it looked like they were going to break them up, and now it looks like they're not. But it's been a long time coming for the Usos. They're finally the champions, and I feel like so many people are behind them. Mm-hmm. I don't think it would be a smart move if they took the titles off the Usos. So my prediction is the Usos will retain.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. The Usos, I mean, originally we thought they were going to be winning them here. So they've really only had them for a month or so. So not even, about a month actually. Yeah. I see them retaining, and I think that the Real Americans might finally actually break up here. That's my prediction there. Yeah. Usos retain, and they start towards the actual Cesaro versus Swagger feud that goes on to Extreme Rules. So the Shield in another six-man tag match this year against Kane and the New Age Outlaws. The men in suits, as now the New Age Outlaws have been donning some suits.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess I'll start this one. I gotta go with the Shield. I mean, they're fresh off a turn face. I mean, and it's just the Shield. I just don't see them losing. I think Kane and the New Age Outlaws are going to put them over on the grandest stage of them all. And it'll be a great match. I'm more interested not to see who wins, because I think the Shield's obviously going to win, but who gets the pin. Kind of interested to see that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Graham. I definitely think the Shield's going to win, just because, like you said, they're off a fresh face turn, and they need the win more than the other guys.
Without a doubt, I think the Shield, for sure. And I think it's kind of a bit of a symbolic, like a passing of the torch type of thing from the previous generation to this generation of talent. And every member of the Shield has so much going for them. Every one of them is something amazing on their own. And there's something even more amazing when they're together. So I think this is going to be a big emotional kind of moment. And like Grim said, it will be interesting to see who gets the pin. But I think the Shield is definitely winning. And at the WrestleMania Today thing, they've been showing Thursday, today, and they'll be showing some tomorrow. They've had this 3-part interview we were kind of talking about earlier about the Shield, and it really just shows them in a new light as very real people who are living their dream and who complement each other so well. Mm-hmm. And so I don't see how there's any way the Shield's not winning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then we've got the Divas, the Vicky Guerrero Diva Invitational for the Divas.
No!
Yeah, before we actually predict this, I just want to say I actually was excited for this match, but I just don't see how 14 women are going to let one fall happen for a title.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I'm honestly anxious to see how they do that.
Before we dive into predictions here, didn't Vicky say something on Raw like she hasn't quite revealed the exact stipulations?
Yeah, I think that's...
Is that right? One fall to a finish.
Yeah.
I believe she said that. But I could see them making it like a battle royal type of thing. Yeah. And then once they get down to maybe a handful of them, then it's actually making it a one fall to a finish deal. I mean, I don't know, because she even basically straight up said, you won't know until...
It's a surprise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the Divas title. Why don't you start us off with your prediction, Katrina, for the Divas title?
Gosh, I'm kind of bouncing around two ideas, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be Tamina. they're finally going to do the official AJ and Tamina are, Tamina's no longer AJ's bodyguard. And you kind of see on recent Raws that AJ's been kind of desperate. Yeah. And before she'd kind of be pushing Tamina around, and now she's like, oh, but it's cool. And trying to hug her, and you can see that Tamina is just not impressed.
Tamina is not
so I think this will be the final straw in the AJ Tamina saga, and I'm really hoping that Tamina will walk out the champion.
It's like there's a few that have been going around in my head who could possibly get it, but I'm gonna go with Naomi because I honestly feel like she was supposed to win the title back in February or January when they were kind of building that feud, and it was kind of just put off until she returned, and now she's back.
She's awesome.
And she's really been, the two who have really been looking good going into this are Naomi and Tamina. And I think if it's not going to be Tamina, I think it'll be Naomi. So I'm going to go Naomi.
I don't really think either Tamina or AJ are going to win, just because I think it's going to come down to those two are going to be in the ring at some Tamina's going to be protecting AJ the entire time until one point it's just those two in the ring, and then she's going to super kick AJ, and then that's going to start our little thing with them. And then I don't really know who I can say is going to win. I definitely think it'll be a Total Divas person though.
So we've got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which
Andre the Giant.
Wore
my shirt tonight.
I'm stoked for that.
Me too.
And it's the thing about this is I was really excited for doing this predictions video for this because there's so many people in it who it could be. So I think they've
announced 27 people.
Yeah, there's 3 open spots. So I guess Schloppy, if we're going in a circle here, I guess it's back to you to start us off.
Well, I think that Big Show will win. They've been kind of pushing him the past few weeks with it, and it just kind of makes sense because he's the big guy and he's the one that makes sense to win, and he's the closest one to Andre now, which I don't necessarily think he needs to win, or I don't really want him to win, but it'll be something new for him that he hasn't done, so that's my guess, going with the Giant.
I honestly would rather it be my left big toe than the Big Show. Just because I have nothing against the Big Show. I like the Big Show. But the Big Show is way too obvious. If he won this, it would be way too obvious. Yeah. There are parallels with him and Andre. When they brought him in WCW, they even billed him as Andre the Giant's son, which I, even at 10 years old, was like, Andre the Giant was French. This dude is not French, so clearly no. But basically not the Big Show, please. I haven't really nailed down anyone specifically, but I think the emotion surrounding this Battle Royal is fascinating. Hogan got really emotional about it in an interview with Michael Cole. In that WrestleMania Today stuff, they had an interview with Piper, and he got all worked up about it. And I've seen a lot of the superstars just get really emotional about it. And speaking of that kind of leads me to, I'm going to go with Dolph Ziggler, honestly, because I think he feels this, I think, more than anybody. And I hope if they didn't intend for him to win it, they picked up on that and they're like, you know what, this guy needs to win it, because he's totally feeling it. And when he came out on Raw, he was wearing Andre the Giant shirt. I'm like, come on, guys, he deserves this. Yeah. And at Main Event that they interviewed him about his match against Big E, and he couldn't even focus on the interview. The first thing he said was, I'm going to WrestleMania! Right. I think he's so pumped. I think he believes in this, and I think he feels it. So I'm going to go with Dolph. That's what I want. That's what I think is what it should be. So I'm going with Dolph.
I've decided it's between 2, and the reason I say 2 is because 1 hasn't been formally announced in the Battle Royal. My first one is someone who has been in it. I think it could be Sheamus, because
he would have been my
he's been a power into the thing, and he's a top guy. They see a lot in him, and
he loves to fight.
And another big win. And he's someone who could bring it in a Battle Royal and it'd be believable and stuff. And my other is Alexander Rusev. He hasn't been announced, but there's 3 slots, and it would not surprise me if he's one of them. Also, I'm going to say if it's Rusev, it comes down to him and Big Show, and he eliminates Big Show. Yeah. That way, it's the not predictable thing of Big Show winning, but it still gives Rusev a memorable debut. So if Rusev isn't in it, Sheamus. If Rusev is in it, Rusev is my predictions. Then we've got our 4 what I would consider main big matches, and we're starting off with Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. So where are we? Katrina?
Yep.
Do you want
I'm so excited I got
start
this
us
one.
off with your prediction?
Okay, the first thing I'm going to say is John Cena doesn't need this. John Cena doesn't need to win. The way they've built this up is he's basically, Cena has everything to lose and Bray Wyatt has nothing to lose. Is what they're, it's Cena's legacy that he's trying to protect. And I've been a Cena fan for, I can safely say, all of those 12 years that he's been here. And it's just gotten worse and worse and more and more extreme. But I don't think, Cena does not need the win. Not at all. But I think he's walking out with the victory. And I'm okay with that. Because of the whole legacy storyline.
Yeah.
Because if he loses, what are they going to do with that? Mm-hmm. Is he going to go into this deep pit of despair? Is he going to leave?
Yeah.
What would they do if he doesn't win? Yeah. Now, I'm not saying Bray Wyatt doesn't deserve to go over. Because I would honestly be okay either way. At this point in Cena's career, he doesn't need the victory. And Gregory Iron wrote a fascinating article about this exact match and made so many good points. And that was the biggest one, is that Cena doesn't need to win. But my prediction is Cena will win because, for the purpose of keeping his legacy intact. And just for I think the emotion that will come with it, too, will be very powerful. If that's what happens. Now, but if Bray Wyatt were to go over, I'd be perfectly fine with that, too, because it is his time, The next generation, Cena's kind of halfway between generations at this point. But I'm going to go with Cena.
This has been a toss-up because until recently I was really predicting Bray was going to go over. My prediction is going to go for Cena. I agree with everything you said. I think I would like Bray to win. It's his first WrestleMania, and I think it will do big things for him. But, when you think about it, you remember WrestleMania matches. You remember who won. You remember what happened. And I thought, for a while, I was like, and it's not Cena. I just don't think that WWE will have John Cena lose at WrestleMania. Not because it's not going to hurt him, a loss. I've been thinking back, kind of doing the stats. He lost at Royal Rumble this year, and he lost at Elimination Chamber this year. And I just don't see them having their top guy go 3 losses in a row. It's happened before, but just looking at it from that point of view.
That's interesting. I just
started thinking about it. In fact, if you go back before that, he also lost at TLC. So I just think that I hadn't thought about that till today, but either way, it's going to be memorable for both people. Yeah. I'd like to see Bray win, because it'd be a moment for him and it would help. But
honestly, I don't think it's going to do any damage to his career if he doesn't win either.
It's not.
So
I'd just like to see it. So I'm going to go, I predict Cena will win.
Well, for me, I'm going to be the lone wolf here. I think Bray's going to win. I don't think he's going to win on his own or whatever. I think the ref's going to get distracted or knocked out somehow, and Harper and Rowan are going to come in and attack Cena and beat him down, and then that's how they're going to win. And then at Extreme Rules or
until the Shield comes to Cena's aid.
Yeah. And then at Extreme Rules or something, then Cena and Bray will have a rematch and make it so the Harpers can't interfere, Harper and Rowan can't interfere, and then maybe we could hope. And then
Extreme Rules, it would make sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Cena will get the win there. So I think in the long run, Cena will hold his legacy, but I think at WrestleMania it's going to be Bray.
Then we've got the streak on the line, Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. And I just want us to, I'm going to count to 3. And on, 3, 2, 1. Then we're all going to say our answer, and I want to see if there's anything different there. 3, 2, 1.
Undertaker.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew he was going to do that.
No, Undertaker.
And then we've got I don't know what the order of the matches are going to be, but I figured we could just cover these as a duo. We've got Triple H and Daniel Bryan in a one-on-one match where the winner gets added to the main event. So, why don't you go ahead and start us off on this one?
Well,
I don't want to steal anything you might be thinking, because you've said it.
I think what's going to happen is the main event will wind up being a fatal 4-way between Batista, Orton, Bryan, and Triple H. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if they're going to get DQ'd and they're going to Bryan's going to win. Triple H is like, well, forget you. I'm putting myself in the match anyways. Or who knows how they're going to do it, but I think it'll wind up being a fatal 4-way. If they don't do it into a fatal 4-way, they just stick how they are talking, then I think it's going to be Bryan. But I'm more leaning towards the fatal 4-way, so.
You know what? Why don't you just go on with the main event now? I mean, you think it's going to be a fatal 4-way? What do you think's going to happen in the main event?
I think it will get to the point where Bryan's about to win. He's going to have someone set up for the pin, and then Triple H or someone's going to come in and screw him over again, and then Batista will win. I don't want it to happen that way, but I think that's how it's going to go down. But, yeah, I'd like to see Bryan win and have his big WrestleMania moment winning the big one, but...
Dude.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have invited you tonight.
What do you got, Katrina, for both of those matches, regardless of if they go into a fatal 4-way or not?
I could see, and we've kind of talked about the fatal 4-way thing, and actually there's a lot of other people in the wrestling community, the internet wrestling community, that seem to be thinking the same thing. So, and I could see that happening. Now, if that does happen, I think it's going to be Bryan wins cleanly, no questions, and then Triple H is just a jack rear end and puts himself in the main event too.
Yeah.
So if that happens, you know, fatal 4-way, Triple H puts himself in even though he just lost. But either way, I think Bryan is going to win that match cleanly. I think he's going to win the Triple H match cleanly. As far as the main event, you know, the title match, Bryan's going all the way.
Yeah.
I'm confident. Well, I'm trying to just... My heart is running away with my brain. My heart has destroyed my brain at this point. I can't even think logically. Bryan Danielson is winning. And I will cry and I will scream and I will be completely really excited.
Yeah.
So I think the Yes movement continues. The Yes movement culminates at WrestleMania and with Bryan Danielson as the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And those belts combined probably weigh almost as much as he does.
That's why they should go to one.
At least as much as his beard.
Yeah. Okay. I think that in the long run, especially after this week and the week before, it's going to be a fatal 4-way. It's just been, it really feels like it's going to be. So here's what I think. Somehow Triple H is going to beat Daniel Bryan. He's going to cheat to do so. Somehow. I don't exactly know. I mean, I can just see it. He's going to get the win and get added. And then Hulk Hogan is going to go out there and add Daniel Bryan to the main event.
Interesting.
And it'll be a fatal 4-way, and Daniel Bryan gets the win and wins the world title. That's what I'm thinking. I would.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
But it just seems like a feel good ending. You know, I would. But I guess if it's a triple threat, then just Daniel Bryan all the way.
Yeah.
Okay, if I can just interject.
Yeah.
Again, I was watching this whole WrestleMania thing. This thing is really cool. I was glued to it for almost 4 hours tonight. They show this highlight package of the Yes movement, you know, and how Triple H and Stephanie want to squash it and stuff. But they showed stuff, and this is the first time I've seen this, of a Catholic school. The entire gymnasium is yesing during a basketball game. And then they showed something else, college, high school level, I'm not sure, but the entire field is yesing. There's someone on a soccer field that starts yesing. So it was just really cool, and that made me feel like, dude, this is such a thing.
Yeah.
That like they would be stupid not to put the title.
They gotta capitalize on it.
So it would be really stupid.
Yeah.
Really, really, really stupid.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson is winning.
Yes. And you and Batista can go hang out and watch Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hey, that looks really good, and you know it does.
And drown your sorrows in ice cream and chocolate-covered bananas.
Stop, that sounds good. No, I
know, I'm
want
just
Daniel
giving
Bryan
you
to
a hard
win, but I don't know. I think
You're
Daniel,
trying to be realistic.
Yeah.
And my heart has destroyed my brain, so I can't think
well,
logically.
yeah, what little brain you have.
Wow. Never. You never can just
No, I can't.
let it go.
Nope.
Okay, so those are our predictions for WrestleMania. And I think I speak for everyone, not just us on this couch. WrestleMania, we're all pumped for it. Unless you just aren't.
No, I'm pretty excited for it.
It's going to be awesome. So thanks for watching our predictions video. They could be completely off. I guess we'll have to find out. So thanks for watching. Have a great WrestleMania. Have a great WrestleMania.
WrestleMania
please-
30.
And please tell us your predictions.